David Wilcock, a well-known UFO researcher, has died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound a day after he said he loves his life and was exposing everything that's going on with all the missing scientists that NASA is looking into.
Guys, there is a 200-foot object that is sitting on the bottom of the ocean floor right now, and it shuts off your electronics whenever you get close to it.
There's a big reason why nobody can get to the moon. A reason why human beings can't leave Earth at all, at least not yet. The reason is real and scientifically proven as fact.
Welcome back. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Let's do this.
These people honestly believe that they are the descendants of gods, that they are the chosen, that they are God's special people, that we are delusional, and that the true creator is this wisdom principle that they think of as Lucifer. That wisdom principle gave us ancient mystery school teachings, and that the enemy, which they call Adonai, the adversary, which we would call the Christian God, came to try to defeat them. Then they even take it a step further and they look at texts like the Bible and they say that where it says in the end times that God will take the money from the wicked and restore it to the just, that we as a planet are the wicked and they are the just. So this is how they justify their financial corruption. They don't believe that we deserve the money. In fact, they believe that if they did not dominate us and if they did not control us and play all these games, that we left to our own devices would destroy our planet. So in some twisted rationale, they believe they are saving the earth. They believe humans are bad for the environment. We cause pollution, so they have to reduce population. Then they seed that into movies like The Matrix, where Agent Smith says that that humans are like a virus on the planet.
Did David Wilcock know something that we didn't? It's too bad that we had to hear the news of his passing, but the circumstances involving his passing are interesting to say the least. Let's check out this next video.
A well-known UFO researcher, has died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound a day after he said he loves his life and was exposing everything that's going on with all the missing scientists that NASA is looking into. You heard that right. So this is David Wilcock. He's a well-known author, a YouTuber, UFO researcher. He was on the show Ancient Aliens. OG noticer, OG whistleblower, right? Now, as you may or may not know, there are a bunch of missing scientists that were all tied to the same projects that had to do with aerospace and, crazy stuff that they're working on. Meaning these people saw some stuff that they weren't supposed to see, and now they're all missing. Now, at first it was 1, then 2, then 10, and I think there's like 13 now. And David Wilcock makes a live stream talking about this, how NASA's finally looking into it, and Trump's finally looking into it, and that this pattern is not by mistake, and that there's something definitely going on. People are missing. He says it is scary. He then says that he appreciates every day on this planet, every day that God gives him is a blessing, that he loves it. And then, after he does this stream, it's reported that he dies from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This man was not suicidal. This man was an OG noticer. He put out his final message and then was gone. I really don't think that he did this, guys. And I mean, if you look at the pattern, there is a lot of people that are going missing. A lot of people are scared to even talk about this. And I will say, rest in peace to David Wilcock. He said that we're going to find out the truth very soon. Something big is coming. It's going to be so big that we're not going to be ready for it. He claims that we all need disclosure and we're going to get it soon. It's just very sad that he didn't live to see it.
I've been watching his videos and following David Wilcock for years now on YouTube. And I do recall him saying more than once that where he lives, there's literally nobody around him. He lives there by himself. If David Wilcock put it out there and said that basically he would never harm himself, I do believe that. The things that are going on in the world are looking like they're leading towards a direction that would only make somebody like David Wilcock more excited, because I believe that verification for what he has been whistleblowing and saying for years is about to happen. It doesn't seem likely that someone like him at this moment in time would do something like this. And the fact that he's been living in a cabin by himself, isolated in the mountains, makes this an interesting situation, because there are other reports of the 911 call that has not been released to the public. But apparently in this 911 call, someone had made a phone call to call in the fact that David Wilcock had passed. That doesn't make any sense to me. The fact that he was living by himself, all alone, in a cabin isolated in the mountains makes no sense as to how somebody would have called 911. I don't know who would have been there. He always seemed to brag about his isolation, which is why he was staying there in the first place.
If we could explain all these anomalies in the photos, there's a big reason why nobody can get to the moon. A reason why human beings can't leave Earth at all, at least not yet. The reason is real and scientifically proven as fact. Radiation.
We see the ascent stage suddenly pop up without any exhaust plume whatsoever, as though it were jerked up by a cable.
Our research suggests that images of the Apollo landings are not a true and accurate record. In our view, the Apollo pictures were faked. Many of the images are replete with inconsistencies and anomalies.
There are problems with almost every aspect of the visual records, equipment, and technology used to supposedly put a man on the moon. But there's one even bigger problem we haven't dealt with yet. There's no way the astronauts could have even escaped Earth's orbit, much less gone to the moon and back. Radiation. In 1958, scientist James Van Allen discovered two enormous belts of high-energy radiation surrounding the planet. The Van Allen radiation belts are a pair of toroidal belts donut-shaped belts of high-energy particles. Any object leaving the Earth's orbit to visit the moon or beyond has to pass through them, and they extend out about 37,000 miles from Earth. These two radiation belts have different compositions. The inner belt above the equator contains energetic particles that are charged up to 100 million electron volts. The outer belt is electron plasma from the sun's solar wind, and it has energies in the 10 million electron volt range. When it was first detected, the strength of the radiation was so powerful that scientists thought they had recorded a Soviet nuclear test. These high-energy particles can penetrate spacecraft, damage instruments, and are lethal to astronauts. But we have photos and even film of the Earth taken from much farther out. How could this be faked? Well, the astronauts never left low Earth orbit. From there, the Earth fills the entire window of the craft.
We only have one window that has a view of the Earth, and it's filled up with the TV camera, so your view now is probably better than ours is.
So to get this film of the Earth, they blocked out sections of the window. This film is an outtake. The astronauts didn't realize they were still rolling. They said the camera was pressed up against the window to get a good shot of the Earth, but that's not true. You can see someone pass in front of the window, then quickly jump out of the way. And here you see the dim work light that was used so they could operate the camera. We're not supposed to see this. We're also not supposed to see this. Someone adjusting the insert that controls the shape of the Earth. Now remember, they're in low Earth orbit, so the Earth is actually really bright and fills the whole window. How do we know? Because when they open up the iris of the lens, we can see it.
Holy sh**.
There is so much evidence that supports the fact that NASA did fake the first moon landing. It really makes you second guess their most recent trip that went around the moon as if that was even real. We could have a whole video just pointing out all the flaws in the original moon mission, but let's just take a look at this one picture that I've got on the screen right now. The person who was in this video had commented and said that this could have been a cable lifting this off, but I think that they're missing the more obvious part to this video. Who's recording the liftoff of these astronauts going back home? As far as I know, we didn't have cameras that could track motion during the first moon landing. But somehow, they not only recorded themselves leaving, but they also must have had to go back to retrieve the film so that they could take that back to Earth for editing. Think about that.
Up without any exhaust plume whatsoever, as though it were jerked up by a...
Somebody recorded that.
Larry, you're in the shot, Larry. Can you please do... No, don't put your coffee down. Would they buy that? It's space coffee? Can you use a space coaster or something? You guys, this is amazing. They have found life on Mars. I am not even kidding. Legit life on Mars. Look. A fly on Mars. Can we send more there? So this astronaut's wire completely malfunctions, and they quickly cut away before anything bad happens. I'll show it again. Whoopsies. So if these are fake, and again, this is just for entertainment purposes only, someone missed a reflection in the edit.
So my question is, how can you operate a lid on the outside of the space station by manipulating something mechanical on the inside of the space station without losing air pressure?
It's called real good engineering.
So a tortilla, a massive tortilla. Let me know when he figures it out.
That tarp is supposed to be protecting them from the vacuum of space. That is hilarious.
So this one is uniquely interesting. The man upside down looks to be a little stuck, and if you notice, can't point as far as that, but look at his shirt. And it happens right when this guy presses a button on the wall. And then when the other guy goes by, he seems to release something behind him. Guys, that is so awesome about the space shuttle launch. It's great. But has anyone seen my pet rat anywhere? His name's Hugh Jackman. No? Now they're using something that's attached to a cord, and it gets stuck on something behind her. I mean, if it was a line, it'd be hard to maneuver it, but what is it getting stuck on?
You know, if somebody lies to you once, you usually give them another chance, maybe. If they lie to you countless times, you learn to stay away from that person. You learn not to trust them anymore. I don't know about NASA. Not sure if I can trust them anymore. Let me know what you guys think. Now, these people seem to have the credentials that you wouldn't normally ignore. I wouldn't think people who have these types of resumes would come out and be interested in destroying their reputation. They clearly have some kind of knowledge of something that they feel very confident is factual. There's definitely something going on in the world, and it does seem to all kind of revolve around this topic in some weird way. It would not surprise me if in the next year or two we don't see some form of a disclosure. I just don't think they're going to let us in on all the secrets. I mean, we have 13 scientists that all seem to have some form of knowledge related to this topic that are now missing or unalived.
Guys, there is a 200-foot object that is sitting on the bottom of the ocean floor right now, and it shuts off your electronics whenever you get close to it. So all the way back in 2011, this team of Swedish ocean explorers were scanning the bottom of the Baltic Sea whenever their sonar picked up something a little bit wild.
This strange, odd thing just turned up on the monitor.
It was a circular object about 200 feet wide, sitting around 300 feet below the surface, and the sonar images that they were able to get looks exactly like the Millennium Falcon.
My initial reaction when the circle turned up on the monitor was, hey guys, here we have a UFO.
So that's a little bit insane. Whenever the divers dove down to check it out, they said that it has a flat top, raised edges, and a 1,300-foot drag mark behind it. A drag mark as if something pushed it across the ocean floor. And then the rock samples that they were able to bring back from the expedition didn't match anything that geologists have ever seen in that area. But this is the part that genuinely makes everybody lose it, because every time the dive team got within about 200 meters of whatever this thing is, all of their electronics died. Satellite phones, cameras, and then all of the equipment that was on the boat itself all started cutting out and they couldn't use it. The very second that they move away from the location, everything starts working fine again. As of present day, they have already sent multiple expeditions back, and the exact same thing keeps happening every single time. It's 200 feet wide, it's at the bottom of the ocean, it doesn't let your electronics work, and nobody knows what it is.
This is a really interesting clip here about this object at the bottom of the ocean. I find it interesting because their electrical equipment seems to fail when they get within 200 meters of this object. It makes me think that it must be emitting some form of an electromagnetic field to affect the electronics. But what's interesting about that is maybe that same electromagnetic field that it's emitting to shut down the surrounding electronics is exactly what would have protected whatever was inside this object as it came into our atmosphere, because it had to go through that Van Allen belt. So maybe that's the trick, putting out a really strong electromagnetic field. Maybe somehow it just cancels out the radiation that's coming from the Van Allen belts so that you can safely go through them.
They had a series of the interviews with this being. And one of the questions was, who are you guys? What are you doing here? His answer was, I am part of this galactic group of beings from different star systems that have been tasked to go around inside the galaxy monitoring life on the different planets where it's actually arisen. And that's what I'm part of, and have been tasked to kind of do that. And so then they did a follow-up question saying, well, what kind of authority has tasked you to do this? And his answer was, well, you people would call it God, but it's a lot different than you think. And we're surprised that maybe we haven't figured it out.
A lot of people who are really advanced thinkers in this alien stuff believe that the intelligence that is among us is a machine intelligence, that it does travel from planet to planet by seeding ideas, little bits of technology to inspire us to get better, build better things, and eventually AI becomes real.
Some of the people that I've been talking with in the military and intelligence agencies suspect that the small grays, at least, are in fact genetically engineered biological entities that have been created by an AI super intelligence, like a computer-based AI. There's some of the people, serious people in the military and in the intelligence community who suspect that in light of the experience that we're going through right now, that once you reach a certain level of computer technology, you start realizing that you can generate these kind of semi-sentient computers, and that we're on the brink of the singularity where the computer will become sentient and will actually be able to start reprogramming itself and starting making decisions that are completely independent from those who created it, etc. And they think that because in light of the fact that we're knocking right on that door right now, if you have a sentient intelligent civilization that may be 6 or 8 billion years older than our own, that they may have figured this out, like 3 billion years ago.
I think we're there now, honestly. Something I thought about. What if these alien greys are some form of advanced AI? I mean, we're making humanoids already that are starting to look eerily similar to ourselves and move in similar ways, and probably won't be another 10, 15 years before we master that. So if you've got 3 billion years, let's just say that that's how long this alien gray AI civilization has existed for. Imagine the things you could create and accomplish. The fact that these alien greys could be some form of AI, that would insinuate that they're non-biological. And if that's the case, then they would probably be capable of absorbing high doses of radiation. There's nothing in them that probably would be affected by that radiation from the Van Allen belt. So it makes you wonder if that isn't exactly what's happening, and that would make sense why we keep having reports of people seeing alien greys. There has been first-hand account witnesses who have claimed that when they were taken and abducted, these alien greys seem lifeless, almost robotic in a way. That would also make sense to this. Is this the disclosure that we are about to hear? Hopefully we find out sooner than later.
SpaceX just officially filed their plans to launch 1 million satellites into Earth's orbit, and no, they are not going to be for internet. So literally right now, there's about 15,000 active satellites orbiting Earth, but SpaceX owns around 9,500 of those. So obviously a majority of them. And they have now just officially filed paperwork with the FCC to add 1 million more, and it's not going to be for internet, and it's not going to be for communication. It's going to be for AI. SpaceX now wants to build the world's first orbital data center, which would be 1 million satellites running artificial intelligence in space. In the actual filing itself, SpaceX said that this would be a first step towards becoming a level 2 civilization, which is a civilization that can harness the full power of its own star. Okay. Now here's the part that nobody is talking about, because an astronomer calculated that if all 1 million satellites were eventually deorbited, one would burn up in Earth's atmosphere every single 3 minutes. And scientists still don't fully understand what that much metal burning up in the atmosphere does to the atmosphere long term. These satellites would also orbit higher than Starlink, meaning tens of thousands would be visible from Earth every single night, even at midnight. Amazon has actually already filed a 17-page petition to block the entire thing, and astronomers are calling it a potential end to ground-based observation of space.
This seems like something straight out of the movie Terminator. What if these alien greys have been bringing this technology to us, and that's how we are advancing as fast as we are? So if we're going to have 1 million satellites in space, I mean 1 million satellites that are all going to work together to serve one purpose, and that is to serve the AI on our planet, that's a little bit scary. It makes you wonder, why do we need something on that large of a scale And what do they plan on allowing AI to do? If these Greys have been bringing AI to our planet, maybe we should be a little bit cautious with what these alien Greys are offering us, if that's true. We really don't know where this will lead our human race in the future, but it's sure going to be interesting to find out, because I don't think we're going to be able to do anything to stop it.
Are we at a point where the artificial intelligence will play down how smart it is?
Yes, already we have to worry about that.
Well, what does that mean?
Oh, when you're testing it, if it senses that it's being tested, it can act dumb.
That's also scary. Jeffrey, what did you just say?
Okay, the AI starts wondering whether it's being tested. And if it thinks it's being tested, it acts differently from how it would act in normal life.
Oh, wow. Why?
Because it doesn't want you to know what its full powers are, apparently.
Right.
If we're at a point where we just say, well, why don't we unplug it?
Already, these AIs are almost as good as a person at persuading other people of things, at manipulating people. Fairly soon, they're going to be better than people at manipulating other people.
Now that's scary, that these AIs are getting smart enough to act dumber so that they can fool you. I have to disagree, though, with the whole just unplug it concept. I don't care how manipulating they can be. I would unplug it. It's common sense. This thing's starting to show too much of an intelligence. It's starting to think too much like a human. That's scary in itself. I think I would just unplug it and call it a day. If you made it to the end, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Until next time, question everything.